My beloved child, when a path before you suddenly closes, do not hastily bow your head as though you have just been removed from my mercy. Do not let the dry sound of that latch become a sentence in your mind. And do not let the silence of an opportunity make you think that I have turned my face away. There are things you call loss, yet in my eyes they are a quiet rescue. There are things you call delay, yet in my wisdom they are a necessary pause to keep you from a road that would weary your heart and fracture your faith. You see only the outer door, the beautiful paint, the light slipping through the crack, the promise of the things you have long awaited, but I see the room behind it, the chords hidden beneath the rug, the voices that would gradually make you forget the dignity I have placed within you. So when I do not allow a door to open, it is not because I want to wound you, but because I love you deeply enough to keep you from what you are not yet able to discern. There have been times when you stood for a very long time before a door, carrying hope, tears, and whispered prayers no one else could hear. You thought that if only it opened, your life would step into a new season, if only that person returned, if only that opportunity belonged to you. If only that plan succeeded, your heart would stop trembling. But my child, not everything that awakens longing in you has been chosen by me to become a shelter for you. There are tables laid out beautifully, yet the food upon them will not nourish you. There are invitations that sound sweet, yet lead you into dependence. There are paths first covered with flowers, yet the farther you walk, the farther they draw you from my voice. I do not close doors to confuse you. I close doors to teach you that your safety is not found in what you can hold, but in my hand that is holding you. You have blamed yourself too much whenever something you hoped for did not happen. You searched through every small mistake, every awkward word, every moment of weakness, and then condemned yourself, thinking perhaps you were not good enough, not worthy enough, not radiant enough to be chosen. But I want you to hear this with all the tenderness of your heart. Not every closed door means you lack value. Many times it closes precisely because you are more valuable than what is waiting behind it. Not every rejection is a sign that you have been forgotten. Many times it is my way of pulling you out of a place that would drain your peace. You see a no while I am quietly writing. Wait. Something better has not yet appeared. You see your hands as empty, while I see you being delivered from a burden that, if you received it today, you would have to weep tomorrow in order to release. Remember the story of Balaam on the road where the angel blocked the way. He thought his donkey was being stubborn, thought the sudden stop was an annoyance, thought the unexpected turn was an irritating obstacle. But what human eyes had not yet seen was a sword standing before him, and the creature he considered a hindrance was helping him avoid danger. My child, in your life too, there are such donkeys, delays, unanswered calls, opportunities slipping from your hands, plans being overturned, people leaving without warning. At times you have been angry with them and accused them of ruining the road you had already planned. But perhaps through the very things that seemed to frustrate you, I was stopping you before a sword your eyes had not yet seen. I do not always explain to you immediately what lies ahead, but I always have the right to hold you back when my love knows that one more step would wound you more deeply. Therefore, do not be quick to envy when you see another person's door opening faster than yours. Each person walks a distinct journey beneath my eyes, and what fits them is not necessarily the garment I have tailored for you. There are doors that open for others because they have been prepared for that room. But if you enter before the appointed season, what was meant to be a blessing can become a burden. I do not measure you by the speed of the one beside you, nor do I write your story according to the pace of the crowd. I lead you like a gentle shepherd, leading sheep through the pasture. knowing when to let them rest, when to take a detour, when to avoid a valley that may be near but is filled with shadow. When you only want to go straight, I may lead you to turn aside when you only want speed. I may teach you slowness when you only want to be chosen. I may teach you that being protected is also a very great grace. There are long hallways that make you feel as though you have been left behind in emptiness. You knock, then wait, you hope, then feel disappointed. You stand before silent entrances and wonder whether your prayers have dissolved into the wind. But in those hallways, I am doing a hidden work within you. I am training your eyes to distinguish true light from false light. I am teaching you not to bow before every door simply because it appears magnificent. I am making your heart steady enough so that when the right door opens, you will enter not with panic, not with the desperate need to be recognized, but with the peace of one who knows you are being led by me. You are not lost in that hallway. You are being kept until the room worthy of your presence has been fully prepared. My beloved child, let your heart stop chasing the weary call of proving yourself. You are not loved because you have climbed another summit, not accepted because you have gathered enough achievements, not looked upon by me with tenderness only when you have won every battle in life. Before you knew how to stand firmly, I already knew every tremor within you. Before you knew how to name your dreams, I had placed in you a beauty that does not need to be decorated by the praise of the world. I do not wait for you to become perfect before I take pride in you. I took pride in you when you fell, yet still chose to rise. When you wiped away your tears and continued walking, though no one applauded. When you chose to speak the truth while your voice was trembling. When you chose to love, though all you received in return was silence. The little things you thought no one knew, I have seen. The quiet victories you did not dare to tell, I have remembered. The times you tried to live rightly in the middle of a heavy day. I bent down close to you with the joy of a father who sees his child growing in truth. Therefore, do not let the world teach you that your value must be measured by applause, by position, by an outwardly radiant appearance, or by whether you can please everyone. There are masks the world praises as beautiful, yet they suffocate you. There are roles the crowd applauds, yet they carry you away from the identity I have placed within you. I did not create you to live like a vessel painted to suit the eyes of others. I created you like a lamp with oil inside, so that light may shine from truthfulness, from humility, from faithfulness, from the pure things I have sown within you. When you try too hard to polish yourself, you will grow tired. When you try to alter every line of yourself in order to be accepted, you will forget that I called you by love before anyone knew how to judge you. You do not need to become a copy of someone else in order to please me. You only need to return to the honest, tender, pure beauty I breathed into your life from the beginning. There is a kind of light that does not need to shout, yet still touches places that have been closed. It is not the light of boasting, not the light of winning over others, nor the light that forces people to bow and acknowledge you. It is the light of someone who knows they are loved and therefore no longer has to compete to be seen. That light moves very gently, yet it endures. It enters a sorrowful room through a kind word, passes through a barren heart by patience, draws near to the weary through a presence that does not condemn. It does not pound loudly on doors, does not preach like a hammer striking down, does not make the weak feel even more ashamed. It simply remains there, clear as the breath of morning, reminding others that gentleness still exists, hope still remains, and there is still a hand able to lift up the fallen. My child, when you live truthfully in me, you become a quiet invitation to those who have not dared to believe in goodness for far too long. I know you have had seasons of carrying a burden far too heavy upon your shoulders. as though you had to save everyone, fix everything, open every door, mend every crack, and make everyone around you peaceful. You have grown tired because you thought that if you did not try a little harder, someone would collapse. If you did not say one more sentence, everything would fall apart. If you did not sacrifice yourself to exhaustion, you would be the one lacking love. But I did not give you the role of savior. I did not place you on this earth to carry the portion that only I can bear. You are invited to love, but not to burn yourself to ashes in control. You are invited to be faithful, but not to take upon yourself the responsibility of changing another person's heart by your own strength. Healing belongs to me. Opening the way belongs to me. Transforming the deepest places within a human being belongs to me. Your part is to be present with a pure heart, to walk uprightly, to sow goodness, to speak truth, and to let me do the part your hands cannot reach. Remember the story of the boy who brought 5 loaves and 2 fish on the day the crowd was hungry and faint in a desolate place. That boy had no storehouse of food, no power, no grand plan, and nothing that would make the world bow in admiration. In his hands was only a small portion of food, something that seemed utterly insignificant before the vast need of so many people. But when that small portion was placed in my hands, what was ordinary became a sign. What was little became abundant. What was simple became a feast for many. My child, I do not require you to have everything before I use you. I do not tell you that you must become great before you are allowed to take part in my beautiful work. I only ask whether you dare to offer what you have with trust. One small step, one quiet prayer, one act of kindness. One day, when you choose faithfulness, though no one sees, each of these can become bread broken in, my hands to nourish those who are hungry for gentleness and hope. So do not despise quiet things. Do not think that only loud and remarkable deeds have value before me. I see you when you hold back a harsh word to preserve peace. I see you when you choose to forgive without broadcasting your pain. I see you when you continue to do what is right though others do not understand. I see you when you return to truth after days of wanting to run away. I see you when you keep your heart soft in a world that easily hardens you. Those moments are a fragrance before me. They do not always create noise, but they soak the road you walk with light. The world may overlook small faithfulness, but I do not overlook it. Heaven does not rejoice only over great victories. Heaven also rejoices over a heart that chooses to live truthfully, to return, to love, and to rise one more time. Now I want you to step into the life ahead with holy lightness. Not the shallow lightness of one who avoids responsibility, but the lightness of one who knows you are being held by me. Lightness is when you do your part without trying to sit upon my throne. Lightness is when you love without forcing the outcome to follow your will. Lightness is when you serve without making yourself a slave to recognition. Lightness is when you open your hands, allowing what needs to stay, what needs to leave, and what I desire to give to arrive in its proper season. You do not need to pull the dawn up with weary hands. The sun will rise by my command. You do not need to make every door open at once. The door that belongs to you will be opened by me in peace. You do not need to make yourself strong in the eyes of everyone. You only need to remain in truth and let my strength uphold you from within. My beloved child, do not view the slowing of your life as a sign that you have been forgotten. There are precious things that are not brought into the noisy marketplace for passers-by to assign them careless value. There are seeds that are not sown on hardened ground before the rains have come. There are vessels of fragrance that must be kept in a hidden place until the appointed hour. So their scent is not lost before the table is prepared. You carry within you something I have placed very deeply, something not born to be displayed in haste, nor placed into the hands of those who do not yet know how to treasure it. Therefore, When I keep you in days that seem quiet, I am not making you slower than others. I am protecting the value I have sown in you from hurried hands, from shallow eyes, from places that know how to use what is precious but do not know how to cherish it. There are times when you look at others stepping forward, seeing them called by name, seeing roads open for them, seeing them brought into rooms you once prayed for, and your heart aches softly as though you have been left at the end of the line. But my child, in my kingdom, order is not always the same as the way the world sees it. The one who goes ahead is not always the one who goes farther. The one applauded early is not always able to carry a burden for long. The one shining brightly today is not always deep enough to stand firm when strong winds blow. I do not lead you according to the crowd's pace, because I know your path has high places, winding turns, unseasonal winds, and responsibilities that cannot be carried by a heart not yet trained in stillness. If I let you step out too soon, what was meant to be a blessing could become a burden. What was meant to make you shine could exhaust you until you forget why you were called. Let me speak to you with the tenderness of a father. The waiting time is not a prison, but a room of preparation. That place may not be noisy. It may have no cheers, no spotlight, and not many people recognizing the change within you. Yet there, I am making your roots deeper, your heart wider, your peace more enduring, and your eyes more able to distinguish what is fleeting from what truly has value. You think you are only standing still, but I see you growing quietly. You think nothing is happening, but I am reshaping the way you think, refining your motives, softening the hard edges, teaching you to listen in silence and follow me when there is no outward sign. Some of my most beautiful works do not take place in the public square, but in the hidden room where only you and I know. Long ago, David was anointed among his family, yet afterward he did not immediately sit upon the throne. He returned to the pasture, continued tending the sheep, and faced ordinary days that the world did not consider great. In the eyes of many, he was only a boy in the field, with a harp in his hand, dust on his feet, and the scent of grass and wind still clinging to his garment. But I used those unseen days to train courage, faithfulness, hands that knew how to protect what had been entrusted, and a heart that knew how to seek me in the lonely place. Before he stood before Goliath, he had learned to stand before the lion and the bear. Before he carried the responsibility of a nation, he had learned to care for each small sheep. Do you see? I do not waste the pasture. I do not consider hidden seasons unnecessary. I prepare those I love through lessons the crowd cannot see, so that when the time opens, they do not step out with boasting, but with steadiness formed in the secret place. Therefore, do not despise the season you are living simply because it does not yet resemble what you expected. Perhaps today you have not been called out before many people, but that does not mean I do not see you. Perhaps the door has not yet opened, but that does not mean the key has been lost. Perhaps others are moving quickly while you must move slowly, but slow in my hand is safer than fast in your own haste. I keep your rhythm not to disadvantage you, but so you will not be exhausted before you arrive. I know your strength, your limits, and even the winds you have not yet encountered. If I tell you to stop, it is not because I do not believe in you, but because I know you need to be clothed with endurance before entering a land that requires more than your first enthusiasm. The days you thought were wasted are actually creating depth. The months you called delay are becoming a foundation. The moments when you had to stand behind others are teaching you humility, self-control, and trust. You do not lose an opportunity simply because it has not arrived at the hour you desired. What belongs to you, in my good intention, cannot be stolen by another person's speed. No one can run into the portion I have reserved for you. No one can take the garment I am tailoring to fit you. No one can stand in your place at the hour when I call your name. What you need is not haste, but faithfulness. What you need is not comparison, but to remain in preparation. What you need is not to push your way forward, but to let me complete in you what must be completed before you step out. Then the day will come when the lid of the vessel is opened, and the fragrance I have preserved within you will spread naturally. You will not need to prove yourself, not need to create noise in order to be noticed, not need to use force to draw the eyes of others toward you. When I declare that the hour has come, the way will open with a peace you cannot create by yourself. Doors that once stood silent will begin to move at the right time. Those who need to recognize will recognize. The places that need to receive you will receive you, and the things that once seemed far away will stand before you as a tender confirmation that I never forgot. Others may be surprised and ask, why now? Why not sooner? Why, after so many quiet days, you step out with such steadiness? But in silence you will understand that this is not the hour of coincidence, nor the hour of pressure you created, but the hour of me. When that day comes, you will not step out with the haste of someone afraid of losing their portion, but with the bearing of one who has been prepared. You will not tremble before the new room, because I taught you steadiness in the old one. You will not lose yourself before praise, because I taught you your true value when no one called your name. You will not collapse under responsibility, because I quietly trained your endurance during the days when you thought you were only waiting. The slowness you once could not understand will become beauty in every step you take. The years no one saw will become oil in your lamp. The times you patiently remained will become a cloak of peace, covering you as you enter what is new. So, my beloved child, stop seeing your present position as a forgotten corner. It is a place of waiting for instruction, a guarded place, a place where I place my hand upon you and say, not yet. Not because I am slow, but because I am wise, not yet. Not because you are lesser, but because what I am preparing for you needs the right season. Stand still and grow. Be quiet and deepen your roots. Do small things with a pure heart. Let ordinary days become an altar of faithfulness. When others run, continue walking according to the rhythm I give you. When others display their harvest, continue caring for the seed I entrusted to you. When your heart wants to hurry, remember that fine wine does not fear being forgotten in the storeroom, because the master of the feast knows very well when it must be brought out. And when I call you, you will know you were not left behind. You were held back so you could appear at the right time, in the right place, in the right way, in the beauty that only time and my hands can create. My beloved child, what I am placing in your heart at this hour is not a burden to bend your shoulders, nor a calling that forces you to hurry and prove that you are strong. I do not come to make you run when your feet do not yet understand the road, but I come to awaken within you a deep watchfulness. You were not created merely to keep listening and remain still, nor were you nourished by my word only to keep it like seeds, lying forever in a storehouse. My word touches you in order to open a way for your steps. The stillness you have in me is not a refuge where you hide from life, but the place where I adjust your vision, steady your heart, and then send you forth with tenderness but not weakness, with humility but not fear. When you understand that hearing me is the beginning of a journey, not the final stopping place, you will stop asking endlessly whether you feel enough, and begin asking how what I have sown within you will be lived out today. There have been seasons when you grew accustomed to sitting in the safety of reflection, gathering light, remembering deep things, being moved by my gentleness, yet still hesitating when it was time to stand in the place I had shown you. You feared stepping wrongly, feared you were not wise enough, feared others would not understand, feared what you did would be too small a matter. But my child, I do not despise a small step if it is born from obedience. Before me, one quiet action that does what has been heard is far more precious than many beautiful words that never become life. An apology spoken after many days of silence. A kind deed done when no one sees. A decision to separate from what is old, though your heart still trembles. A moment when you choose to stand on the side of truth rather than comfort. All these carry weight in the hidden realm. You think they are only small things. But I see the stream beginning to change direction through those very gentle movements. Therefore, from today onward, when you recognize my voice within your heart, do not stop only at the soothing feeling it brings. Do not keep it merely as a beautiful memory from a time of prayer, and then allow your daily life to return to what it was. Ask me with a willing heart, Father, how do you want me to walk with this? Sometimes the answer is not a great work, but simply a call that needs to be made. Forgiveness that needs to be given. A habit that needs to be released. A person who needs to be listened to. A task that needs to be completed faithfully. I often open a new season, not with thunder that shakes the mountains, but with a small command, simple enough for you to practice in ordinary days. Whoever is faithful with a small light will be led into greater light. Whoever walks according to what has already been made clear will gradually be entrusted with deeper things. You are entering a season that does not come with display. It does not wear the garments of loud cheering, does not need the crowd to witness it, and does not always make your emotions rise like great waves. This season comes like dawn slipping through the curtains, very gentle, very steady, very real. At first you may not recognize it, because you once thought that new things had to overwhelm you, had to come with radiant signs, had to make people look and say that something great was happening. But I often begin lasting transformations with one quiet decision in your heart. You will stand, not stand against others, not stand to lift yourself up, but stand in the portion I have entrusted to you. Stand in the truth that has been revealed. Stand up from delay. Stand up from the familiar place that once lulled you to sleep. Stand up from fear that kept you listening but not daring to live. Look at Gideon, who once threshed wheat in a hidden place because he was afraid. In his own eyes, he was small, his family insignificant, and the call upon him seemed far too great for hands that trembled. But I did not call him according to his self-assessment. I called him according to what I had placed within him. Before he saw victory on the battlefield, he had to rise in the hidden place, had to tear down what was old. I had to learn that strength does not begin with a crowd, but with my presence. And when the army was reduced to only a small number of men, that was not to shame him, but to teach him that true victory is not built upon outward dominance, but upon a faith that knows how to follow me. Do you see? I do not need you to have every ideal condition before beginning. I need you to dare to rise from where you are, with what I have spoken, and allow me to do the part that is greater than your strength. Likewise, do not wait until every emotion is perfect before you obey. Do not wait until fear is gone before you step forward. Do not wait until everyone agrees before you believe that I have led you. There are doors that open only after you draw near. There are waters that part only when you are willing to step down. There are strengths that are revealed only while you act by faith. I do not blame you because you tremble. I only invite you not to let trembling govern your decisions. To be afraid and still walk with me is a very holy beauty. To not yet see everything and still do what is right is a very precious fragrance. To be unsure whether you will be understood and still choose faithfulness is the sign of a heart that has begun to mature in my love. This new season will be recognized not by how many words you hear, but by how many words become steps. You can hear much and still remain in place. But only one thing truly lived out can begin to change the entire direction of your life. I am teaching you to connect the hidden place with the road, stillness with action, what you receive in me with the way you treat others. Work, choose, release, and move forward. Life with me is not divided between sacred hours and ordinary hours. Every moment can become a place where you respond to me. When you wash a dish with gratitude, when you do a small task with integrity, when you keep your promise, when you do not answer harshness with harshness, when you persevere in what I have entrusted to you, though no one praises you, you are walking with what you have heard. Do not worry that those quiet steps will be lost in forgetfulness. No movement born from obedience is meaningless before me. Every step you take from the place of stillness is like a seed falling into good soil. Today, no one may see the sprout, but beneath the ground, life has already begun its work. I am using these small things to weave a path that one day will make you look back and wonder. You will see that your courage did not appear overnight, but was gathered from many moments of choosing what is right. You will see that your peace is not a passing emotion, but the fruit of many days of allowing me to lead you. You will see that the new season did not begin with outer noise, but with a very quiet moment when you said within your heart, I will stand, because the Father has called me. So, my beloved child, step into this day with a heart that is light but not shallow, steady but not hard, humble but not withdrawn. I am not telling you to do everything. I am simply inviting you to do the next thing in the light you have received. Do not despise the first step because it is small. Do not delay obedience because you have not yet seen the whole road. Do not store my word like a treasure locked away that never nourishes life. Let what you hear become the way you live. Let stillness become the source of action. Let the clarity within your heart become footsteps in the world. And when you rise, even if no drum is heard, even if no banner is waving, even if no stage is waiting for you, heaven still sees. I see. From that very moment, the ripples begin to spread, and you will understand that a person who truly rises within can change the direction of the entire journey ahead.